Hi, I'm Gardener Scott. Join me today as I plant and prune a goji berry plant. I wanted goji berries in my garden for quite a while. So last year I ordered some seeds and started them and actually had great germination rates. I started in small pots, progressively transplanted to larger pots, and kept them protected in a greenhouse for the first year. Now, at a year plus, this plant is ready to put in the ground. Gojis can spread after you've planted them. Their roots send out runners and they'll start popping up sometimes quite a ways away from the mother plant. So I've got this plant planted in a corner that's bordered by some railroad ties, which will help cut down on some of the expansion of the roots. They also like to be trellised. So on the fence behind me, I've got wire fencing, which I'll use as a trellis as the plant grows. Gojis like full sun. So except for dappled sunlight in the morning, this spot gets full sun all day long. Gojis prefer a rich, slightly alkaline soil, but they're tolerant of many different conditions. I'll start by digging a hole a little bit bigger than the size of the pot, expecting that most of this soil will go back in the hole. After I've dug the hole, I like to actually place the whole pot in the hole just to get an idea of how deep it is. The level of the soil should match the level of the soil in the pot. I'll apply pressure all the way around the pot. Bang the bottom a little bit. Firmly grasping, but not squeezing too hard, the trunk. I'll then try to gently lift the pot away from the root ball and then just set it into the hole that's all prepared, supporting the plant the whole time. Then I'll backfill the hole to keep the root ball in place. If there's a lot of roots, you might want to tease them apart a little bit. But this plant isn't quite that old. The root development isn't that much. So for now, I'll just fill in and then compact the soil as I fill the hole. I've got these bamboo stakes that are helping to support the plant. And so I'll keep them in place, bury them, and add soil to continue the support of this young plant. A goji plant will send up many stems, and particularly the young plants might have some damaged ones, broken ones. So as soon as you plant, it's a good idea to prune any of those damaged or broken ones out. Particularly with a plant that's already a year old, there'll be some of these stems that are no longer growing. So clean up the plant to begin with and just leave the nice, strong, vertical stems that you want to start developing into trunks. Gojis can be trained into becoming virtually tree-like. If at this point you select just a couple of the strongest vertical stems, you're getting yourself a head start for when the time comes that you'll want to determine which of these stems become the main trunk. You'll want to prune off any damaged or broken tips. And at this point, you also want to cut back these stems because that encourages a lot of lateral growth. And that lateral growth is where all the fruit comes. Your plant might be much smaller, but the concept is the same. And as this plant grows, I'll be attaching it to this back wire fence as a trellis. This will be my primary fruit zone. As with all transplanted plants, you want to give them a drink right away. I form the soil into a little saucer shape initially, so that as I water, it settles into that saucer and then gradually drains down to the roots. I'll let it drain, and then I'll add more soil, and I'll do this 3 or 4 times until I'm pretty sure that the soil is moist all the way down to the roots. Remember, this was a pretty big pot, so I need to make sure that the soil is moist to a pretty good depth. Mulching right away is also a good idea. You don't want the roots to dry out at all as this young plant begins to grow. I'll start with straw, and later I'll mulch with wood chips. It takes a couple years for the goji to start bearing fruit, but since this is the 2nd year of life for this plant, it's possible I might get some flowers and some fruit this year, though I'm not expecting it. Next year is actually when I anticipate the first harvest. And there you have it. Now I have gojis in my garden. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to subscribe, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. As always, enjoy gardening.